a stand, but I find a way to change the game. You tell me that I should stay, trust what you say, and that's all okay. But everything starts to feel like a con, and I'm the pawn. Am I right or wrong?
Welcome back to another season of Knock On. This year we're going to have our best season ever because we have some unbelievable hunts as well as some very in-depth dead center and field recon segments that are going to help better you as a bow hunter and an archer. Now to kick things off, I couldn't think of a better place to go than back up to Alberta, where last year I shot that huge double drop muley. This year though, I've got some new tricks up my sleeve and I'm going to get up close and personal with another amazing buck.
Select Hunter. Select UA Package. Select Point. Select Transport. Select Accuracy Package. Select Nocturnal Knocks.
Hey everybody, I'm here in Alberta once again. It's opening day, August 25th, 2013. My lucky number, Little Dud's lucky number, the 13. And today is a lucky day for sure. We've been driving around, haven't seen much for muleys, but here it is, midday again, right around 12 o'clock, noontime, and we spotted a giant buck. He just happened to stand up, stretch for the middle of the day. He was bedded down in this wheat field, and once we caught him and started looking, now the only thing we can see are the tips of his horns. But this is going to be hopefully another awesome opening day here in Alberta. The only difference is, and the only problem with these early season stalks in these huge grain fields, is the fact that every time you poke your head up, you're vulnerable. So this year at the ATA show, I found an awesome little gadget, and they are not a sponsor to the show, so this is legit, and I think it's gonna work. So get ready, because we're gonna be the decoy. We are gonna use hopefully this little hat to be able to stay as low as we can, crawl through the wheat, and get as close as we possibly can to this buck. And I'm hoping that if he busts us and stand up, he's gonna look at me just long enough to give me that few seconds I need to make a good shot. So opening day in Alberta, knock on. Let's go get us a big muley buck. He's probably about 170, giant. Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of Knock On lifestyle clothing, as well as some awesome Knock On gear and accessories that I personally take to the field myself. Enter promo code SHOWFAN and I'll include a free signed photo. Also remember that all US orders over 100 get free shipping. knockonarchery.com. This is really an amazing stalk, and this worked perfectly. One thing to keep in mind when spotting and stalking, utilize any type of rise in the terrain so that you can move. Otherwise, move only when the animal is looking dead away from you. Also, always check the wind and move when the wind's blowing hard. If it's a calm day, then you need to move very cautiously. If you have wind, then use the wind to your advantage. On this hunt, I just took my time, I used the wind, and I used the terrain, and I got right up close and personal, 18 yards from this awesome muley. I'm a firm believer in letting the animals stand up naturally. I don't like to whistle and I don't like to throw things. Half the times they end up just running out. So I just sat patiently. I had the wind at the left side of my face, and I just waited and watched his horns for any indication that he was going to stand up. A few times I thought I was going to have my shot, but he was just looking around. So I had to hold it full draw as long as I could and then let down. But patience paid off, and after about 45 minutes inside of 20 yards, I finally got my shot. As you can tell, this buck had reacted a little bit to my string, and when he ducked, I ended up hitting the top of that shoulder blade, and I knew right away that my hit was marginal. So as soon as this buck cleared the terrain, I absolutely did everything I could to keep up with him and keep my eyes on him for a follow-up shot. An important part of this show to me is showing you guys how real-world situations happen and everything that I do to make sure that I'm successful, and I want to pass that on. Once again, I knew my shot was marginal. I didn't want this buck to go somewhere where I couldn't track him, so I just stayed after him, kept my glass on him, and just did everything I could to keep up with him, to intercept him for another shot.
Still coming. Should be able to get a shot. Slip through. Bring that back. Get on it, Dusty. Oh, baby. Oh, baby. I like that. Yes! Dusty! Oh, that was sweet. Did you see that? You got that? Oh, that's a bruiser. Are you nervous?
A little shaky.
Folks, I'm so pumped. So nervous. First day. Last year I shot my big dropper. And guess what? 12:15. 45 minutes from last year. What a freaking bruiser. So pumped. Unbelievable, dude. I am so excited. I got Dusty behind the camera. Dusty actually came over from BC. All you guys have seen him at Lobo Peak. And we've just become great friends over the years. And that's what I love to do, is hunt with my friends and hunt with my family. Gosh, that's a bruiser, dude.
Awesome.
Yes. Sorry, folks, if it's a little shaky, but you know what? Knock On is all about real life hunting. It's about just doing what you love, doing it with the people you liked. You know, we don't have professional camera guys. We've got friends that do their best to film. And we got a freaking mega muley.
Nice.
Yeah.
If you're looking to learn more about archery, be sure to tune in to Knock On Podcasts. Knock On Podcasts is a weekly talk show where I get in-depth with shooting techniques, equipment setup, and also give you a no BS review on some of the latest industry gear. Knock On Podcasts are great for listening on a road trip or that dreaded ride into work. Expand your archery knowledge with the highest level of world-class information on the airwaves. Knock On Podcasts.
Dead center.
On this first Dead Center segment, I want to talk about the importance of having your draw length set correctly, because The core of proper shooting form and being the most accurate you can possibly be is all revolved around your bow being set perfectly for you. And I think this is a very common mistake a lot of people make. They buy a used bow, they buy a bow from their friend, they buy a bow over the internet, and they never get sized properly. Today I want to tell you not only how to measure yourself correctly for draw length, but also what we look for with perfect form, and also how your bow should fit you based on that form. And really, the basis of core archery is a proper T formation. And a T formation is simply raising your arms from your side straight up and bringing your release hand to your chest. This position right here is perfect archery form. Depending on what kind of release you shoot will depend on where your release hand is. However, this front portion of your body is going to be based like a T. You're not going to want to have your elbow really bent like this. You're not going to want to have it hyperextended. You're not going to want your shoulder crushed up against your neck, and you're not going to want your shoulder crushed back. Perfect form is as simple as raising your arms and bending your release hand towards your face. This is perfect archery form. You want your feet under your hips and your hips under your shoulders, and you want your head in a vertical position. All you need to do is be able to just turn your head straight towards the target. To measure your draw length properly, all you need to do is stand just like this and raise your hand up and make a fist. Then scoot towards a wall to where your fist touches a wall and maintain this T formation. And when that happens, look towards the wall and have someone measure from the wall to the corner of your mouth. And that's going to put you right on for your draw length. What that does is when you draw your bow back, the bow forms a triangle at full draw. When you have perfect posture like this, the string should come to a rest at the corner of the mouth, and when your head is straight, the string should be right at the tip of the nose. If you measure your draw length this way, you're going to be right on with your archery equipment and dead center with anything that you're aiming at. Be sure to visit knockonarchery.com to see our entire line of trendy knock-on lifestyle clothing. Enter promo code SHOWFAN with your order and receive a free signed photo from Doug. knockonarchery.com. For more years than I can remember, I've gone to Alberta for some awesome early season hunts. And my buddy Todd at Red Willow Outfitters knows exactly how to put a bow hunter up close and personal with almost any type of species that they have to offer. Muleys, whitetails, black bears, moose. I've just had amazing hunts time after time again up there with Todd. If you're looking for a good hunt, make sure you look up Red Willow Outfitters.
Yes! Dusty! Oh, that was sweet.
Well, check out this sucker right here. Holy smokes, they're so big, so heavy. Alberta is just the place for giant bucks. And as you could tell, this was just an incredible day. I found this thing at the ATA show last year and just thought it was the coolest thing for stalking and crops, and it worked perfectly. I crawled 18 yards from this buck. I could not get any closer without seeing his eyeballs, and I had that hat on just in case he stood up and I wasn't ready. I was hoping it'd give me 1 or 2 seconds to get my bow back. Luckily, I just sensed that he was gonna stand up, and I was able to pull my bow back 18 yards. I thought I made a great shot, but as you could see, he was looking at me and he crouched down just enough to where when that arrow hit that shoulder, I mean, it really made a whack. And I think I got one lung for sure. It had enough penetration to get in there, but then it was a matter of keeping my glasses on him and just staying after him and keeping him within sight so that I could see what he was doing. We were able to make a new stalk and just run like heck and use this tree line to make a new stalk to intercept him before he got out of this section. And as you can tell, he came in and I was able to make that second shot, quick kill. You know, there's two things there, and this is important for all you guys watching Knock On, because education is what I want about this show. I want you guys to learn from my mistakes. And I can tell you that being physically prepared for a hunt is gonna help your success. I was able to just run like heck and keep this deer in sight, and I was able to quickly get in a new position in that tree line so that I can make my follow-up shot. And the second thing was, I've shot my bow. I know my bow well enough to where I knew that that second shot, which was a longer shot, 50 something yards, I was able to make a perfect shot and have 100% confidence because I've practiced at that distance. And you know, when it comes to archery and bow hunting, the reality is, no matter how prepared you are, things happen. And you know, I wanted to think I'd make a perfect shot at 18 yards, but he flinched. I hit the top of that shoulder blade, didn't get a lot of penetration, didn't get a pass through, but you know, I was able to keep him in my glass, stay after him on foot, and get in a new position quick and be able to make that second ethical shot to take yet another awesome Alberta mule deer opening day, 2 years in a row. Giant 5x5, super heavy. I mean, had the double dropper last year, and then now I come up here, same thing, 12 something in the afternoon, take another awesome trophy. Thank you to my Hoyt. Unbelievable. Knock on, everyone. Thanks so much for watching. Stay with us.
Lone Wolves Field Recon.
This week I want to give you some cool tips that's going to help you when it comes to spot and stalk and improving your opportunity and your success. You know, one thing that I've stressed many times is always having your rangefinder close, and I can't stress that enough. As a bow hunter, you have to know that yardage, because 3 or 4 yards is the difference between an ethical shot and an unethical shot when it comes to where you impact. You have to know your distance, and by having your rangefinder close, you're going to maximize that opportunity. Now in the past, I've always worn my rangefinder across me, and as you've seen throughout this whole season, I've come up with a pretty cool little trick that keeps my rangefinder super close, but also right here by my binoculars. And all I did was take the neoprene case that my rangefinder came with, and instead of hooking the lanyard that goes around your body, I went ahead and used some loop material and just made a small loop to where this goes underneath my bino harness. So I'm able to have my rangefinder right here at the ready. It works great. The next thing is you really do need some type of a bino system, and they make several. S4 makes a great bino system called the Lockdown that's been really popular. And it's not just about having them to where they're not dangling down and making noise. It's also about the fact that if they're tight to your body and you're not having to hold on to them while you're crawling, you're going to be able to stay a lot lower to the ground. Remember, you've already got your bow. You don't need to be holding on to your binoculars as well. The next thing is going to be sneaky feet. Now these things 100% are the silent killer. I credit these to so many successful hunts because when it comes to spotting and stalking, you have to get close. You're going to bed those animals down and you're going to slip in as close as possible, and just one snap or one twig break or one, you know, non-normal noise, a squeak of a sole of a boot, anything, and your hunt's over. By using sneaky feet, I have really got in close. And before they had these, they called me Barefoot and Dudley up at Bear Camp in British Columbia, because if you don't have sneaky feet, the only way to really be quiet and get in close is just to use your bare feet or your socks. The other thing is this bow holder right here. I've had this thing on my belt since I think I was 14, and it's just been so helpful to be able to set your bow down, whether you're in a tree stand or spotting and stalking, to take that weight off your arm so that you can be ready for your shot. But also it's great for being able to set your binoculars on top of your bow cam and be steady while you're glassing. The last thing is some type of a decoy system. You know, on this hunt, I credited the Be the Decoy, which I found at the ATA show last year, as probably what made that hunt successful, because as you can see, when you get in that close and it comes time for that animal to stand up, sometimes you are gonna have just a split second to be able to make that shot happen. And I was hoping by being an animal that they would give me 2 or 3 seconds. So having some type of a decoy, I've used several kinds from silhouettes to now 3-dimensional heads. And I can tell you, when it comes to spotting and stalking, I've used them for elk, I've used them for moose, and I've used them for muleys and antelope. And being the decoy, especially on this hunt, definitely made me successful. Those are some awesome tactics. I know they work for me, and I'm certain that they're gonna work for you too.